What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are at the Fear the Riff Expo 2018, and today we are here with another guitarist that I freaking love, Angel Vivaldi. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah. Your latest record is Synapse. All right? I said it right?
Yes, you did. You did.
But how was the making of it?
Very long and grueling. It was great though. It's a big concept record, so it's based on neurotransmitters, so like dopamine, serotonin, adrenaline, adenosine, stuff like that. And what I did was, while I was writing the songs, I painted my studio like black for dopamine, yellow for oxytocin, green for serotonin. So I painted it 9 times as I was writing these songs. So it was very long and grueling, but I'm really glad that I did that. Oh, sorry. No, because it came out a certain way, and if I hadn't done that, it wouldn't sound the way it does now. So.
Did you think of this concept beforehand, before you made the record, or did it kind of develop as you were playing around?
I had the seeds of it. And then the more I started getting into it, the crazier it got, you know. We're doing a documentary that's coming out in a couple months that is like all the behind the scenes of me writing, so that's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, it's good times.
Pretty interesting. And I was always curious because I'm a huge fan of the first time I actually ever heard your guitar soloing was in the record you did with Vexed, The Impermanence. Shout out to Tommy.
Yeah,
but I was always curious to, depending on who you're playing with, if there's like a different mind frame or a playing process, or do you kind of have just like a blanket methodology behind playing?
No, I think it's a matter of, it's like whatever the song needs at the end of the day. You know, if the song's telling me to do this, that's what I'm going to do. You know, it's a matter of honoring the thing that's bigger than you or your ego, and that's the song. And to max it out to the highest potential that it can possibly be to serve it. You know what I'm saying? So with Vexed, obviously, you know, the songs are kind of straightforward. So a lot of the playing was just even like much more melodic, you know, and a little bit more space and a little bit more, feels, so to speak. You know, not that like fast isn't a feel, because it is. But, yeah, it really just depends on the project. But for the most part, like, I'm going to play how I play anyway. I sound like myself. I can't not sound like myself, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, because hearing your guitar solos, they're very melodic, but at the same time very shred-oriented. I was curious, do you, like, work off one of those scales, you know, Mixolydian, Dorian, Chlamydian, whatever?
Chlamydian sounds like an advanced STD that you only get in Brooklyn.
Or do you, like, improvise or something?
Well, a lot of it is it's all improvisation, honestly. I mean, like, it's just major and minor scale for the most part. Like, I don't really know a lot of theory. I really just trust my ear a lot of the time. If it sounds good in my ears, is what I do, you know? Yeah. But I'm not formally trained or anything like that, so I don't really. Yeah.
It's you sound like you are.
Faking to make it, I guess.
I call you the electric Mozart.
There you go, that works.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because because obviously you don't just solo, you're really great with chords and everything. Do you like, when you're working on a solo, I actually asked Herman Lee from Dragon Force this, do you like have to hear the song as a whole before you incorporate soloing into it, or does sometimes like your guitar soloing maybe determine the melody and the key of the song?
I would say like 72.3% is, I know, like very accurate, is mostly just like improvising with riffs, and then I have the riff, and then I improvise and just loop sections over and over and over again to do the leads. It takes me a very long time to do that because I'm a very patient man. Like, I keep going until after I play the section that's going to be eventually, I'm like, that's it. Once I say that's it and I feel it here, then I can kind of move on. But yeah, for the most part, just improvisation, just looping sections over and over and over and over and over again. So, you know, some magic happens.
It's very impressive, and I really do find it remarkable that you are able to kind of like adjust your playing and still make it sound like it's yours.
Yeah, I think. Well, the thing is, I'm influenced by a lot of different types of music. So, like for me, you know, I have like my Martian Winners, but I have my Sea of Heartbreaks. You know, I have 5, I have 1, I have like all these different songs that go from like tech death metal to like rock ballads. So yeah, I guess just like growing up with versatile palette as far as what I was listening to, kind of low keys, you know, subconsciously infiltrates how I write, you know, and it affects it.
Yeah. And I'd imagine that allows you, by having such a versatile taste, to experiment and go all out, right?
Yeah.
You're like our New York Jason Richardson.
Yeah. Well, he's a little more just like more straight metal, but I mean, for me, I think that the most important thing is just to like be really sincere and genuine about what you want to do. Like, don't necessarily like force something that's not going to come out, because that's so much more like, I don't know, it's just so much more work and so much harder to do, as opposed to just being sincere and genuine. It's like, this is what I want to say, and this is kind of how I want to say it. Like, my next record is going to be an all acoustic record. You know, Where's Part 2? It's all acoustic. So, but again, you have that vast difference of like, you know, heavy, you know, electric music as opposed to like, you know, just more serene, calm, and you know, melodic acoustic music. So that should be interesting.
Being an instrumental artist, because one thing that I've always said that for like a band like Animals as Leaders or Chan or Polyphia and every other band is that lyrics definitely do have an emphasis on the song, especially if there is like a meaning. And you mentioned that Synapse is a concept record. Being that your music doesn't have lyrics in it, do you have to like take like an extra step in order to kind of prove what your concept is about?
I guess there's other ways to kind of brand the concept in a way. I mean, like obviously with Synapse in particular, I'll use that as an example. It kind of shows in obviously the song titles themselves, the dynamic of the song titles, the artwork, the videos that I do. So I always have other visual aspects that support the intention behind the songs. Whereas, if it wasn't a concept record, it would be a little bit harder to kind of say this song is about this, But that's really the beauty of instrumental music to begin with, because it's not telling you or dictating how you should feel about a certain song. Yeah. It's however you want to feel about it, It could be a song about a breakup, but to you it could be about your dog dying, or it could be about you losing someone, And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and because sometimes people have like a concept and they're so hell-bent on saying that this is what we're saying, but you clearly did the concept for yourself, and it's not like you're trying to force it down anyone's throat.
Exactly. It's instrumental music. I mean, no artist can tell someone how to enjoy their music. Once it's out there, it's for the fans. And it's for them to enjoy. So.
Awesome. And the final question is gear talk. I know you're a Charvel user. We just talked to the guys from Charvel today. What I was curious about being a Charvel player, is that just a guitar that you've always worked with and that's you're more comfortable playing that one, or did you kind of like maybe discover that as you were experimenting with your style and craft?
A little bit of both. So I grew up playing Strats, and then we worked for Ibanez for maybe like 7 years. I was with them. And then, when it came time to, when I had left Ibanez, a bunch of companies sent me a bunch of different guitars. And as I was playing them, I kind of learned because I was like married, for 8 years, and you get used to one thing and you forget that there's all this other stuff happening, And now, obviously, with so many companies pushing the envelope of what guitar building is, it's an exciting time to experiment. So once I started getting all these guitars, and I was like, I like this. Ooh, I didn't know I liked this. I want more of this. Oh, I don't like that. So it kind of was like a back and forth. But with Charvel in particular, I mean, like once I got that 6-string, they sent me a DK24, and I loved it. Then he wanted to do a signature model, which is coming out this winter NAMM. Really stoked on that.
I'll see you at NAMM again. Yeah, are we going to be on the same plane again too?
Most likely, But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But Charvel's they're awesome, man. I believe in them and they believe in me, so I can't ask for any more than that.
And as for amps or pedals or effects, is there any specific shout-outs you'd like to give with that too?
Yeah, I've been using Mesa Boogies, the JP2C. Dude, that thing put like hair on my chest, dude. I love that amp. It's incredible. So I use them. I use Fractal Audio, for all the effects and stuff. And simple, easy peasy rig, man.
Yeah. To me, the most important concept of an amp is just plug it in and play. It's just plugging it and play. Like, I don't understand how Tom Morello lives with all the pedals he has.
I can, man. It takes me 3 seconds. 3 seconds to dial in a tone, and then I just go, I mean, if it's any more, I'm not the biggest tone tweaker, but
Guitar Tech must love you.
Oh, I'm the easy. Like, I never change my strings. I don't I'm really easy.
Don't get tetanus now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a simple rig.
Yeah. Well, Angel, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure's all mine, man.
Yep, everybody, this is the audio device, by the way. I'm holding it to prevent the ground from soaking into it.
Controlling the sun.
Exactly. Let's see if we can get a sponsor from Zoom now. But everybody, we are here with the one and only Angel Vivaldi. Be sure to pick up Synapse if you haven't already. His new acoustic album is coming out soon, and be sure to play on a Charvel. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We will see you next time. Fear the Riff 2018, everybody.